What does Jesus tell us about how to receive others? Well, our special guest this morning will tell us all about that in just a bit. Welcome to the show. I'm Daniel Daup, and this is For Your Sunday Morning Drive. We're the short podcast with the goal of providing some motivation, drive, and encouragement, and helping you recenter your mind on those spiritual things on a hectic Sunday morning. And like I said, this morning we have a special guest, a returning guest, Brother Nick Gill. This is Nick's second time gracing our little Sunday morning drive, and I'm so thankful that he was willing to come back and join us. Nick is a member of the Two Timbers Church of Christ in Stamping Ground, Kentucky, and he also works as a grant administrator in Frankfort, Kentucky. Nick is also one of the most sincere brothers I've ever met. And when you talk to him or you're around him or you're communicating with him, it's clear that he loves Jesus and he loves others. And although many of you may not have met him in person, I know that's going to come through in his thoughts this morning. Nick, thank you for being on the show. One last piece of housekeeping. I'm conducting a listener survey to gather some feedback on the show. So when you have some time, if you could check out the link in the show notes or visit foryoursundaymorningdrive.com and take that survey, I'd sure appreciate it. Now, make sure you don't take it during church or while you're driving, but if you have time today, if you could circle back and check that out, it would really help me out. Anyway, let's go ahead and get the show on the road. This is episode 117, Receiving a Child in Jesus' Name. Let's go to church.
Are we there yet?
Good morning. As you're driving to worship today, I'd like to invite your family to think about something Jesus said that completely turned his disciples' understanding of greatness upside down. But before we read the passage, I've got a question for the kids in the car. Kids, what do you think changed in your parents' lives after you were born? Parents, give them a minute to answer. They might say you got less sleep, had more laundry, spent more money, or had to change your schedule. Maybe they'll even notice that you worried more or spent a lot more time taking care of someone besides yourself. The truth is, when you receive a child into your family, your whole life changes. Your priorities change. Your plans are interrupted. Your time isn't just your own anymore. And here's the remarkable thing from the world's perspective. A child doesn't help you climb the ladder of success. They don't increase your status. They don't make you more productive. They simply require your love, your attention, your patience, and your sacrifice. I think that's exactly why Jesus chose a child. In Mark 9, the disciples have just been arguing about who among them is the greatest. They're thinking about rank, recognition, and importance. But Jesus doesn't point to a king or a rabbi or a scholar or some wealthy benefactor. He takes a child into his arms and says, "Whoever receives one such child in my name receives me." It's important to notice what Jesus doesn't say. He doesn't say become childlike. That is an important teaching, but it's found elsewhere. Here, Jesus says receive a child. To receive someone means more than simply noticing them. It means welcoming them, making room for them, caring for them, accepting responsibility for them. It means allowing your life to be interrupted for their good. And then Jesus adds 3 remarkable words, in my name. Now, as the conversation goes, he's talked about an outsider casting out demons in his name and about giving someone a cup of water because they belong to the Christ. The thread running through the whole passage is that these people are connected to Jesus. In other words, to receive someone in Jesus' name is to welcome them, to care for them because they matter to him. Suddenly the question isn't, can this person advance my agenda? The question becomes, does this person matter to Jesus? Because if they do, they should matter to me. That's a beautiful reversal of the disciples' argument because they keep asking, who is the greatest? And Jesus keeps asking, whom are you willing to receive? So here's one last challenge as you pull into the parking lot this morning. Before you leave your car, ask yourself, who might Jesus want us to receive today? Maybe it's somebody who's visiting for the first time. Maybe it's someone sitting by themselves. Maybe it's an elderly member who hasn't had many conversations lately. Maybe it's a child who needs someone to notice them. Maybe it's someone who's been carrying a heavy burden that no one else can see. As your family walks into the building today, don't just look for your friends. Look for someone who matters to Jesus and make room for them in your morning. Because Jesus says that when we receive those who matter to Him, we receive Him. And when we receive Him, we receive the Father who sent Him. So perhaps greatness in God's kingdom isn't found at the top of the ladder after all. Perhaps it's found in the ordinary, often unnoticed moments when we gladly make room in our lives for the people who matter most to Jesus.
Nick, those were some excellent thoughts. And boy, are they relevant to so many conversations happening, or that should be happening, in our world right now. Those were his thoughts. Now it's time for you to share yours. Our discussion questions for this week are, since Jesus calls us to receive those He cares about, how might that affect the way we view people our culture is quick to overlook, dismiss, or reject? How can we prevent ourselves in the future from using qualifiers and making judgments that Jesus does not? And who might Jesus want us to receive today? Hey, thank you for listening. Thank you for taking time, if you can, to fill out that listener survey. Thank you for Nick for being on the show again. I can't wait to have you back next time. Keep receiving people, keep caring about people, and do it the way that Jesus does. It makes a difference. And hey, I'll see you Sunday.
We're here.